Inazuma. So many things have happened. Yeah, we've definitely made some progress. Huh? Hey! What the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? Alright, let's convince him to calm down a little.
Boring!
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all? Seems like I've mistaken.
At the very least, you should make sure you got the right person. No, wait! Even when you've got the right person,
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kaedahara Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here waving that... Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling him anything about... Right? Paimon has it anyway, just to be on the safe side. Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean beyond already... Yeah, maybe a little. Anyway, there's no time to lose. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look for him to... Hello? Do you know where Kazuha is?
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor... If it's because of that battle on Izuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but...
Oh, so you...
I've heard bits and pieces. It's something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no... Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes... He was called away earlier by some people from the 10... I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unnecessary. Thank you. Guess we'll go pay a visit to the...
All right, then. I'll just stay here and carry on.
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt Decree. We invited Mr. Kaedahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the Shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolve. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to regarding the history of the Kaedahara clan. I trust that you're... In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty Shogun. But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaedahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax over... We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. attributing all. Considering Mr. Kaedahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, but all in the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the.
This is a true honor. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture...
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. With the Kaedahara clan's reputation and occupation, you will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the Almighty.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaedahara. And
I sense some hesitation. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will disappear.
Malicious rumors?
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaedahara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a
What? But that doesn't make...
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a...
this is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being... But perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me...
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought.
In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then,
Yikes!
why would such a dangerous individual be looking... No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedahara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai.
All the more reason to watch your back!
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive.
In that case, I will send some men out immediately.
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter. I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who...
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say. Hey there! We'd like to ask you, do you know if anyone around here...
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaedahara.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Mr. Kaedahara is currently the talk of the town. To be honest with you, some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want.
Millions? Of Mora? Whoa!
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
Of course. No matter what, we only Sorry, I got a little... But I wouldn't know where to begin.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. The Tenryou Commission had very few leads.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the street. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault.
Uh-oh. Looks like the...
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be... It would cause me great grief to see someone become critic for the poor victim. This would be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaedahara. Surely the same...
You flatter me. Truth be...
You are much too humble. Oh, actually, there was one strange... Let me tell you about it,
Sure. During times like this, the more...
All right, then. Recently, one of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma...
Amenoma. Now there...
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of 2 grown men going missing at the same time. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist.
Understood. Though it seems highly
Sure, can't hurt.
Thank you, Ryuji.
Sounds good.
Ah, if it isn't Kaedahara Kazuha.
Yes, the Kaedahara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the All. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept its art alive.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties, and just as iron sharpens iron, so too did we learn much from each other. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life. As for the art of the Kaedahara clan, I believe it's called the ISHIN art.
That's right. ISHIN art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an ISHIN blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an ISHIN blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaedahara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive and well.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryou Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it, but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryou Commission.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse, and neither of them came back. Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so nobody knows what really happened.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya is not that kind of person. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal. Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, but I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced. Anyway, should you find him...
Don't worry, you have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think you...
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
I'm very sorry, but my husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying...
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation.
Ah, I see. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new...
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. Everything was fine.
Uh-oh.
He lost his sense of restraint. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just said, I'm happy he has a hobby and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum.
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to... You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the... After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits? And I also don't know if he had... The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire.
I see. Amenoma Yuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr.
At first, I assumed they must have... But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries. I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home, now that all his collectibles have been locked. Even though I'm still a little mad at him. As long as he's willing to turn over a new...
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this if collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, but the information we gathered from the other side suggests
A little confused?
Let's try a change of scenery. Rest assured, we'll know...
Thank...
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how... Do you have any thoughts?
Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
That is the most likely conclusion based on everything we know. However, in this case, only one of the parties would... If this is indeed what happened, one fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the more I ponder it, the more puzzling. Right. Although the time frame seems Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature.
Darn! We thought we could get 2 birds with...
Let's keep going. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and...
Okay.
Let's head out of the city. Wait. I hear something ominous.
Oh! This must be another one of those, as sketchy as that whole thing seems. You did put it to good use when we were...
Now I'm picking up a...
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now. But it felt very much like that ancient Indeed. But this... We should remain vigilant.
So it's an
The force is definite. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since... Judging from the concentration, I would have to
Mrs. Nagato said her husband...
It could well be that he was already under the From what I've been told, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon... Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with.
So which...
Step back. I'll open the door and take a... If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the... You needn't worry. Both of us have...
What's down
Everything's buried in debris. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to...
That was too scary!
All we can do now is keep searching. 2 ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. Yes, let's go. Quiet your mind and... From this point, the trail appears to split into 2. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distant.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly trails! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look. It's...
Ugh! Look at this
By the looks of it, a letter. Written on a piece of... Well... According to this letter, a conflict arose because Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight.
So...
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point. Yes, right now, if Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then...
Right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, for a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest, all the clues that at first seem... I have a hypothesis that, if it's
Wait! You figured it out?
I believe so. But it's on with the search. We must... You see,
Why here?
I'm not sure. But on Show yourself!
Kaedahara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! What's your problem, huh?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. But what if instead of facing Amenoma Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a whoa! Shit!
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his, or rather, as a means to occupy.
You're sharper than I thought. Many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the ISHIN as a descendant of the Kaedahara clan. You should be...
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectation. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire...
So...
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a... After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began to seek but one thing. To face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power. The might of ISHIN art!
So Amenomi, tell me, what happens to the...
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line.
You're...
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time and not at long last. I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yui, Kaedahara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to now give
Illusion shattered!
submit to me.
Useless! Evil conquering! Here!
Do not stand in my way.
Your bluff's fooling no...
Lost. I can never lose. Even if you defeat me here, though he is but a puppet that can be the end result is the same. And even if I were to lose my physique by any means necessary.
Your fighting style. It is in... But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance.
Really? You...
As I've mentioned before, the form... Since the blade is currently possessing Amenomi, if you ask me, the mania is probably due to your death.
Are you trying to claim that I am on his deathbed? He passed to me all of ISHIN art's secrets. In that regard.
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. After all the time that's passed, you have grown.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remember...
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his Well, that brings me to my second point. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But I think you realized your limitations long ago. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition...
What would you know about any of this?
You returned to Inazuma to prove even if you were to sever that divine light. Is this truly the Sure, you inherited the secrets of ISHIN art. How could you possibly...
Silence, you blabbering... I must achieve my goal. I will concede that you are most perceptive.
And you should face...
Easy for you to say. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the...
How stubbornly you I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun.
What? Surely...
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies once we have dealt with them.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose...
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Ameno. The cursed blade's strength is currently very weak. The power of the Tatarigami lies in... Even if things take a turn for... We have a chance here to save an innocent victim.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance now.
Kazuha?
I felt a little dizzy. It's all right. So far, this was as I will.
What should we do next?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, if a blade built for ISHIN art cannot enter a state if he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no
Wait a minute! Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base...
all right.
What about Amanoma Yuya?
The blade says he'll let Amanoma Yuya trail us silently.
Are we sure this is a good idea? Okay, fine.
Gather!
There is no escape.
Leave everything on this journey to me.
My lucky day.
Wind Strider!
It's my lucky day.
Wind Strider! As one with wind and cloud!
How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think.
Something else on...
How strange. Rather, let's keep going.
Wind Strider!
Let's get down to business.
Wind Strider!
Let's get down to business.
Wind Strider! Clouds high. The birds call!
Whoa. Something's up with the blade.
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps...
Wait, what would that do?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not... He's still trying to... Wind Strider! As one with wind and cloud! Wind Strider!
Are you okay? It looked like
Yes,
the Shin's grown a bit dimmer.
perhaps this time we'll finally have a...
True form? What are you talking about? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But it barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of... I finally figured out why it was that you agreed to You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. The only one who truly understood you.
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can...
Don't worry, it's just more...
Let's get down to business!
The wind knows me. Fallen leaves, adorn my night! One with nature.
You fought way better with your...
You are a true Kaedahara in flesh and in... No one knew anything of my story throughout. I thought that if I could achieve...
But in this too, you have...
Indeed. No matter how hard... Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I... Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade. This blade, skill. Blade. There is something else I must tell you. Though your Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past, though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly
I sensed it, but I couldn't change...
I resisted it. I feel a great sense of regret for the moment you embarked on this journey. You lost the... You have known this.
He gave me every... How could I... I said to him, do not...
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the... When I touched the hilt for the first time, a bladesmith lay quiet. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively.
Wow.
Indeed. He spent the rest of his life in the forge. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, so he instructed this. All he wanted.
So that would have...
Right. This blade. Yes. Time would not wait or stop because of... He seems to have calmed down, though.
When I look, I once told him that I would pay any but darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Not only did I fail to fulfill...
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement and release Amenoma Yuya. But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the So,
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix?
it has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. My physical form, as well as the...
His attitude has grown a lot. What do you think, Kazuha?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. Alas, after that, nor have I ever had the chance to prove my fights were devoid of any You are a fine...
Oh?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore... You must have plenty of reasons to both hate...
Understood. Then let's...
I see. I utterly despise him. If a duel can help to set this state of... I do not wish to be...
There's no need to worry.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how—
All right, then let's move. More Ronin could appear at any moment. In any case, for a final duel,
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of ISHIN art.
Successor of Amenoma art.
Honored to cross blades.
It is my honor, all.
Into the wind. Time to go. Within his nose. One with nature. That hurts. Within his nose. Clouds high. The birds call. One with nature.
Thank you. Although he appears battered and broken, his sense of savage—
You also fought well. There are a few things that
I must apologize to you.
You need not seek my forgiveness. It is too late for all—
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgression. I strayed far from the straight and narrow. I beseech you.
Yes. I too
Thank you. So
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to...
I am not sure.
I am sorry to have troubled you.
A prized ISHIN blade. Considering, but I have some good news as well.
Really?
Yes. Badly wounded, and now that Yuya is back,
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of—
What? No!
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's— I have decided— Thank you. I will— Okay. I am ready. Let us begin.
my power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything. You mean—
Yes, the cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for ISHIN art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. ISHIN lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an ISHIN blade, crafted by Kaedahara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedahara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet remain strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, then his consciousness will disappear.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own act only in the final moments.
Seems like he really...
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motive. Speaking for myself, I understand. Perhaps this hearing his wish to your quest to face the gods and trace after everything I've seen. Perhaps
Oh,
I will continue to support you from this point on.
wait! Shouldn't we...
Oh, you're right. And it's also time to give him...
You've returned. I hear the Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse.
Wow, you should...
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin. A weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art by means of a series of fortuitous events. And so, it looks like I will...
I see.
The Kaedahara clan has always been a family of... Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflict.
You misunderstand.
I am aware, but
Very well. I can understand. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need...
Great.
Where will you travel to?
As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.